awareness building. When you build your own awareness of your own capacity drains, capacity blind spots, capacity sucks, you can begin to make new decisions. You can begin to develop more awareness. And then you can begin to move into capacity building, where you actually expand your capability to create. You expand your capability to receive. You open up your ability to manage more clients, more team, more problems, obstacles, challenges, risk, failure, setbacks, obstacles. And that's when you can truly begin to see exponential growth. Today on the Kelly Roach Show, we are talking about the capacity gap. Why so many people, despite working incredibly hard, are still struggling to grow. And when you understand the world of capacity building, it will make clear to you why so much success that you have been craving and working towards and driving for has felt out of reach. So when we think about capacity, you want to think about like your brain, your mental load, your kind of capability for what you can mentally handle as a pie, right? This is the easiest way to think about it. And when you want more in your life, if every slice of the pie has already been accounted for, there is no room. And so you can work yourself into the ground. You can work hard. You can do the right things. You can keep your foot all the way down on the gas. But if there's a pie and there's 8 slices of the pie, and by 9 a.m. in the morning, all 8 slices of the pie, AKA in this instance, we're talking about mental load, are all accounted for, then the whole rest of the day is shot because there is no availability for more. And this is such an important topic for us to be exploring and talking about in the here and now, because mental load and decision fatigue and overwhelm with all of the complexities of business and life seem to be top of mind for everyone, right? It seems to be something that most people are struggling with. They don't know how to get their hands around their own life, right? And this is the thing, right? When you think about capacity, when you think about mental load, you want to think about it from the standpoint of you have a gear shift, right? And maybe some of you, I don't know if any of you ever drove a stick shift car. I did. I drove a stick shift car for a little bit. And, depending on what gear you're in, even if you press the gas all the way to the floor, it's just going to burn the clutch out, right? Like it's just going to burn out. You're not going to go any faster. And that's a great way to think about capacity, right? So when you think about capacity, what you want to understand is that you have control of the gear shift that's in your hand. And capacity building is about you taking back your power by understanding that you control the gear shift, and by getting more on top of making decisions about energy exertion and emotional investment. And the thing that I see, especially with business owners and business leaders, that prevent them from next levels of success is that because we constantly deal with problems, and that our perception of problems is negative. Our perception of problems is that this didn't go how I expected it to, this is wrong or this is bad, I'm now upset, I have to fix this. And it seems like all day long, all we do is, deal with problems. And that's actually true. Leaders are actually paid to solve problems, right? But when you think about someone who has enormous capacity to build and run a company or a brand or an online presence where they are dealing with hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people, they have tremendous emotional capacity. And you think about that with dealing with problems, dealing with team, dealing with clients, managing the issues that come up in the day-to-day of the business. All of those things require capacity. And capacity building is a process in which you regain control of your emotional state. You reassign how much energy and emotion that you will invest in various things in business and in life to preserve capacity for more, right? So think about it like a canvas in a painting, right? Once the canvas is completely covered, there's no more capacity to create. There's no more capacity to design. There's no more room, no more space for any more art. Well, this is what happens to us in our lives. This is what happens to us in our businesses, right? Many times we assign far too much emotion to the wrong things, and it depletes us so much energetically that we don't have the capacity to apply ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally to bigger and better and more meaningful things that we would really like to pursue, that we really crave and desire in our lives. We just have nothing left. So what I want to ask you as you sit here today is, have you said to yourself maybe in the last year sometime like, I just have nothing left? Right? I feel empty. I'm exhausted. I can't give anymore. I can't do anymore. That means that you have exhausted your capacity at the level and stage that you're at right now. And it means it's time to kick off and begin a capacity building journey. And a capacity building journey is all about how you take back your own power, take back ownership of the gear shift, and start reassigning and reallocating how much energy and how much emotion that you are going to assign to problems, challenges, obstacles, and issues that come on your plate all day, every day. And it begins with a mindset shift around problems, right? Because we get paid to solve problems. That's what all of entrepreneurship is about. But also that is what leadership is about. That's the difference between a leader and a producer. And, so when you begin to go through that mindset shift, that kicks off the process. But then it moves into the next stage, which is gaining awareness about your own, let's call it triggers. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Gaining awareness of the areas where you still have to do healing, where you still have to do self-work, where you still have to begin to manage your own emotions better because you're constantly exerting too much energy, too much emotion into things that really aren't going to get you from here to here. And it's taking away from your ability to have space on the canvas to create, to receive, to enjoy, to feel present, to feel joyful, to feel invested, to be the designer of what you want to produce and create in your life next. Okay? So you start with what is the energy and what is the way that you perceive problems. You move into your own awareness of really getting clear on how you react and respond to things and what your kind of, let's call it weak points are, your blind spots are, where this is energetically draining you or this is energetically depleting you, and how do you begin to better manage yourself and manage your decisions around that, right? In some instances, it's a simple decision of this area of the business really drains me and I'm not the only person that could be doing it. And so I'm going to, reallocate that and let someone else own that area. Great. But that's not possible in all areas, right? So I don't want that to be just the quick go-to, because the buck always stops with us, right? We're the leaders, we're the owners. Even if you delegate responsibility and accountability to someone else, there's still ownership at a higher level, and we still have to remember that, right? But we move into awareness building. When you build your own awareness of your own kind of capacity drains, capacity blind spots, capacity sucks, you can begin to make new decisions. You can begin to develop more awareness, right? And then you can begin to move into capacity building, where you actually expand your capability to create. You expand your capability to receive. You open up your ability to manage more clients, more team, more problems, obstacles, challenges, risk, failure, setbacks, obstacles, right? And that's when you can truly begin to see exponential growth. Now, this is a topic that we're going to be exploring even more deeply, this and so much more in the Kairos Live Experience that is coming up in just a couple days. So I want to make sure before you leave me today that you scroll down in the show notes and that you register for the Kairos Live Experience. I only do these sessions once or twice a year, and each session is new and has nuance and different materials. This is the first time I'm ever going to be teaching about how to build capacity. And the reason why I selected this topic is I see so many smart, talented, highly capable business leaders that are completely stuck on the hamster wheel in quicksand, working their tails off and not seeing a result. And so many of them, their drug of choice is changing strategy. So they're constantly changing strategy, hoping that that will heal what's broken, and it won't. Because it's the magic behind the magic that is going to be the cap or the catalyst to our growth. So if you're listening to this episode today and you're like, Kelly, I want to get unstuck. I feel like I'm working too hard. I feel depleted. I feel overwhelmed. I feel frustrated. I don't know if I can work any harder, but I want to see better results. And you believe that there's still something for you on the other side of this. You know that there is more for you. You can't miss these sessions. They're unlike anything you've ever experienced. It's a 3-day live experience. It's called the Kairos Live Experience. We're going to talk about faith, capacity, identity, and strategy to take your business and catapult it for a multi-million-dollar breakthrough. You don't want to miss it. Scroll down in the show notes below. Think about what we talked about today. Where are you on that journey? Do you feel aware of where your capacity emotionally, mentally, physically is going? Are you aware of maybe what your triggers are? Do you know the things that really suck your energy, suck your emotional availability? And do you know why capacity building is the next step for you and what you need to do in order to begin that journey? Just do a little self-assessment listening to today's session. I hope you kind of were able to have some mindset shifts and raise your awareness a little bit. And I hope you'll join me in the live sessions in the Kairos Live Experience to talk about how do you begin a capacity building journey and what does this actually look like to put the pieces together to open up exponentially your readiness, your availability to receive, and your infinite potential in business and in life. So scroll down below this episode and click the link. I'll see you at the Kairos Live Experience. Thank you so much for listening to the Kelly Roach Show. If you enjoyed this episode, do me 2 solids. Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review so other people can find the life-changing content that we share here. We're on our way to #1 and we need your help getting there. Thanks so much for being a part of the community and for tuning into the show each and every week.